We brought our solar trailer over to this job because we don't have enough juice to run it out of their house, so we're putting these gates on. We put these posts in a different video. We're just coming back to put the gates on now. So we got it hauled around here. Just gonna weld these on. Got a little laser to make sure that it's nice and level. You can see the green line on there. Keeps everything nice and level. We just got this one gate hung up. We only welded the top one. We just have the bottom one clamped. So we're going to get the other half of the gate and try to line them up just right, because the gate itself is twisted about 1/2 inch. So when we're level on this end, both hinges perfectly level, then this edge of the gate is about 1/2 inch out of level. We welded the gates on to the posts perfectly level, and we've got a little bit of twisted going on here. So it's like about 3 inches out of square between both of them together, make it that far out. So what we're going to do is hook a strap on there and pull on it, have the skid steer pull on the top, try to tweak it back square. Tweaked it quite far and it still just bounces back. Don't want to over correct it. We had the do-si-do with the skid steer in the truck. So we can't pull or else it'll bend the gates down. We hooked the strap to the 5th wheel hitch because I didn't want to pull them downward, because that needs to stay flush right there. So if I pull it down, it just bend the gate, and the reveal's pretty close as it is, so I didn't want to move it around. We moved over to the other side. We're doing this other set of gates now. You're probably wondering why we'd go through all the effort to take these gates and twist them to square. The biggest reason is when you're welding it on right here by the post, if you just twist it to where your reveal lines up right here, if you're just worried about this section, then the thing that happens is over here it won't be level, and you may have a bigger column or something, so you wouldn't be able to tell if you twisted it slightly out of level. But the problem is your gate will just swing all by itself if this side isn't perfectly level where the hinges are. Your gate will just swing wherever it wants to. So if you concentrate on this and try to make this reveal all perfect, even though like right now it's not, and it's because we welded the hinges on level. So it's more important to weld them on level, just so that your gates will just stay right where you drop them. So you pull it and you let go and it just pretty well stays there. Otherwise it would just swing all by itself if it's welded on, if the hinges are welded on out of level. Okay, so we got our gates all pulled and they're nice and straight with each other. So what we did is just hook the strap on the bumper, and the ball hitch I mean, to the gate on the bottom, and then we used the skid steer and pulled with the forks on the top, and it just pulled it right over where it needed to go. So now they're straight, they're level on both ends now. It turned out pretty good. Okay, I welded this gate latch on, but it allows the gate to move quite far that way, and then it finally catches, and then I pull it this way. That's probably about close to 2 feet of movement on the ground. It moves quite far before the gate latch actually holds it into place. So what I'm going to do is, there's quite a big old gap between there. So I'm going to just take a piece of metal and weld it on the side of this right here, so that when it folds down, it fits a little bit tighter right here. So this doesn't have so much play. It'll probably limit it down to only moving about a foot. If the wind sits there and pushes it back and forth, it'll cause some serious wear on that thing. I bought this latch here at Home Depot, and it's a pretty nice latch. The only problem is that it's too flimsy for this size of a gate. So when I weld it on right here, then it basically it'll allow the gate to push back and forth about almost 3 feet. It'll push 16-18 inches one way, then it'll come towards me 16-18 inches. That's how much flex and play that this latch has in it. So what I've decided to do here is I cut this piece of steel and I'm going to put it behind there like that. I had to notch it right there so it'd go around that nut, that bolt, so it slides over there, and then it'll go inside there and it fits a lot tighter. I'm going to weld that on there, and it won't allow the gate to move near as far. It'll still move a foot, but it won't move 3 feet. Just by putting that piece of steel in there made that much difference. So like right there where you put your padlock on, this will shield the snow and ice and stuff from going down into your padlock. It'll be like a roof over your padlock. So it made it, there's a couple of reasons to do it. Made the gate a lot tighter. Also made it about twice as tough and shields the water off of it. Okay, so I ended up welding a nut right there on the bottom of the gate. The chain that goes over, we just lagged it into that tree. That way the gate doesn't sit there and flap in the wind. On this side, we did drilled into the rock, and then we just took a piece of wood. It's just a wood lag bolt, but I just took a piece of wood like this, drilled a 1/2 inch hole, and then stuffed that wood down in there, and then put the lag into that wood, and it tightened against the rock. It's pretty solid. And then the gate doesn't just move around too much. It's pivoting off of the post over there, so it doesn't go any closer to the rocks, but it won't go away from them either. So I'll unhook that and close the gate and show you the latch that we built. So that's after we welded that on there, that extra angle iron. So the gate locks up nice and firm. Doesn't have too much play, and if it does move a little bit, then it's tough enough to handle the pressure of it when the wind blows it around. So we got 2 nuts welded on there, and we painted it with some gloss paint. So we're going to come back and touch it up with some satin that matches the existing gate. So it pays off to do your posts nice and level like we did in our last video. It's well worth your time to make sure those things are nice and level. It made this gate go on way faster. So there it is. We have one more over on this other side. I'll walk around to it. Cool. It's the exact same thing. Same exact gates. We built the same latch system. Welded the nuts on the bottom there. Added this piece of angle iron to the gate latch so it was beefy. We barely painted it, so turned out pretty nice. On these ones we drilled in the same way. That chain just hooks onto the gate. Same with this side. Just bolted it in there so we don't haul off the chain. There it is.